Welcome back to another video on ripkaflyfishingtv. It's been a while. Don't really remember how to do this. Don't know what to do with my hands still. But we're going fly fishing today. Hopefully you guys get to see this, because if you are, that means I caught fish. But I'm going to get my gear on, get in the water, and not be right by the road where people think I'm weird. Hooked up on the first fish of the day. I have no idea what it is. It's like a little brown trout. I mean a wee little brown trout. Get some line out here. Snap my rod. Nothing huge, but I'll take it for the first one. Hopefully we get a little better than that, a little bigger. I'm just Euro nymphing this hole. I'll let you guys run for a little bit, see if they're stacked up there. Well, let me get that on the pitch counter. We're at 296. The goal is 300. There's just a little back eddy here that I'm pitching that in. Hit a sexy waltz, and it's particularly jig-headed. If you're that picky, sometimes I do get that picky. I prefer my bottom fly to be heavier, and if it can't be heavier, I prefer it to be jig-headed, because then it sits. You can tick on the bottom a little better, at least in my opinion. Just a little pheasant tail up above it. Two flies, probably both of them are about at the bottom. My setup that I always use. He was laying more on the far side current. And then, you guys know the deal, at least most of you do. Feel that ticking on the bottom? If you see that colored line, stop or do something unnatural, set the hook. If you feel a tick or something that's unnatural, set the hook. But that comes with fishing a lot. Like, you'll just get a feel for things. Like, you're like, set. And then every now and again, some random thing in my head just makes my arm set. And it's all fine. Hook sets are free. Don't get too concerned about it. Trying to make as many presentations to these fish as we can. Good presentations are better, but sometimes some of the worst ones end up catching a fish. Don't be afraid to let it float down below you a little bit. It's actually the more natural look. But you just work the holes. About ready to move on. More set up right now to just cover water than sitting here and pick apart this little pocket. I know that there's water. I want to fish above this a little more than I want to fish right here. But I know there's fish in here, so I'm going to work my way up to it. Fish number 2. I hope that looks huge because it's just a monster. That one was sitting where I was going to walk next. That's why you always want to just make sure you're covering your water. There's another one. I think this one's at least somewhat nettable. This fish has been caught a few times. Let me see if I can get him going the other direction here for you. Super awkward, but he needs to stop eating. Off he goes. Didn't punch the last one, so we're almost at 300. Not even walk across. I don't know. much length out of this as I can. I can't step any further, at least comfortably. So when you get this far out, I know the angle is probably terrible for you guys because I'm like half bent over, but just really trying to reach my rod as far as I can out to keep that line nice and tight. That rod tip nice and high. Gently walk across. Try. And at spot number 2, I would say roughly 10 casts in, which is pretty good for here. Stocked rainbow, it looks like, swam down. Yeah. It's a stocked rainbow. You know you get unhooked faster when you cooperate. Oh, nice rainbow. Nothing to write home about. Probably said that before. But it's a fish. So it makes me happy, and that is gonna be fish 300. 65 more to go. Today is September 9th, so we'll see if we can catch 10 or 12 today. I don't know what I started with. Just a girdle bug right now. I mean, it's a little cloudy. It's a little high for this time of year. It's not really high, but running like April flows right now in September, which is good. We want to keep some water running, but fishing the edge of this seam. Kind of dips down through there. A lot of fish laying there. Laying these little pockets off these seams and stuff. One just came up and nudged that. Could be a sucker. Hooked up with fish 10. So good day. But probably the prettiest fish of the day. Old reliable. which for you that don't know is the squirmy wormy. I mean, that's a really pretty fish. That's about to get bright orange again for the fall. Fall is just around the corner. If you didn't know this, the trout also change colors. They get bright orange in the fall, right before they spawn. So, it's pretty cool. If you want to experience it, link in the bio to the best guide service with your one and only. So, fall's filling up, but feel free to shoot me a call or text or email or however you want to contact me. And I can get you on some of these fish that I catch and teach you some more. A more one-on-one approach. And I've only been out for about 2 hours. Just so you people are aware of the time between these catches. It's a nice fish right there on a hopper dropper setup. Currently hooked up to a decent rainbow, I think. I know that because it just jumped at me. Not taking any line. It's a bigger fish in the hole. It's a nice rainbow. We'll see. Loosen the drag up a little bit here so we can get some action in it. I just don't want it to go towards the tree branch, or I'm going to be a run-in as well. Strong. That's a giant fish. Hook already came out. Get my wonderful glove out here. Stud right there. You see where I hooked him? It's been hooked before. Probably about 18. Big rainbow there. I don't want to release him with that glove on. Make sure he's still got that up in that net. Then away she goes.